At 8:30 p.m., we have the Battle of the Oil Well. Newcastle taking on Manchester City. Of course, two teams that have had very interesting turns during the festive period.
Yeah.
With Manchester City, like we said, going over and winning the Club World Cup. And Newcastle,
Yeah.
aside from their victory in the FA Cup recently, they have lost 4 games on the bounce.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to do something in this particular fixture. But this is not the kind of fixture where you expect some good news for the coach. What does Eddie Howe do?
Eddie Howe has to look at this game minute by minute because it's going to be a hard game. Man City look to be now getting back the team that always gives us those 10 to 15 game runs with only wins. But Newcastle, when you look at the team, that looks to be their first 11. Botman is back, Ban is back, Isak up front is back too. So maybe also the fatigue is now trying to, with the players coming back, maybe we cannot say fatigue anymore. But like you said, Man City is a different animal, home or away.
It's very, very difficult. They've had, I think, 6 games in a row, just wins. They battered a team in the FA Cup last weekend. Yeah. So Man City is looking like the scary City that, of course, they've always been. They haven't lost anyone to the AFCON. Of course, we know Pep rarely plays African players, so that is also on their side. And of course, they'll be buoyed by the news of Kevin De Bruyne coming back just in time. Haaland is still out. So perhaps that's where Newcastle might start thinking, maybe if we can block Alvarez, then maybe we have a chance, especially that their first choice defenders are all back. So it will be very, very interesting. Eddie Howe will be coming into this particular fixture. They are 9th currently in the log, so they'll definitely be hoping to get some points on the board in the next perhaps 3 games so that they can push themselves ahead of the teams above them, including Manchester United that will be playing on Sunday, which is, I think, 1 or 2 points just ahead of them. So it will be very interesting, but they will come into this particular game on the back of a big win, of course, against Sunderland in the FA Cup. Isak getting himself on the score sheet there, a player who has been very brilliant for Newcastle in this particular game. We'll see how it does against the big boys in Manchester City. They're still struggling, missing the Brazilian in their midfield, who was bringing a lot of energy, the former striker. So now they will have to do with Bruno Guimaraes playing alongside Sean Longstaff. There, very interesting. We've seen Lewis Miley, a brilliant product under 17 player who has now slotted into the first 11, and he has showed some glimpses here and there that perhaps he can be a future star, but perhaps this is not the kind of game where you expect him to do much. So I think they'll struggle a bit. Looking at Man City, not so many changes, but KDB cannot start in this particular fixture.
Pep Guardiola has mentioned it, that is now going to manage the game time of KDB because he was rushed last time. That's when he pulled that injury again. But you look at the Man City team and they will look at the first leg when they beat Newcastle 1-0. Newcastle looked so compact. They sort of played into a draw, but they were able to break with a brilliant goal from Alvarez. So Man City, again, going to St. James. They know the St. James fans will not allow Newcastle to be that defensive. So there will be some spaces that Eddie Howe's team will open. And I know Pep will ask his team to capitalize into those spaces. And we know Foden is, I think, getting into the form of his life. So if he can pick those passes, it will be brilliant for him. Jeremy Doku has come back, also he had an assist in a goal in the FA Cup. So City, Tony, like you said, they look a team to beat. And if KDB can get 30 minutes in this game, maybe he can also have an assist.
Very, very interesting. This one looks a bit scary for the Newcastle fans out there. It will be difficult, Timothy. I've gone for a 3-1 win for Man City.
You copied my prediction, 3-1 Man City too.
Very, very interesting. That game will be starting at 8:30, late kickoff East African time. You cannot afford to miss it. Share with us your predictions down in the comments below. We'll be back with a Super Sunday. Don't go anywhere.